So probably more than anything, I am asked about my makeup routine, and it's so simple, friends. I don't put a lot of effort into it. It takes me about 10 minutes, and I don't use high-end products. So if you are interested in seeing how I get this look on a daily basis, then keep watching. Okay guys, so here you have my very raw face. I will say that it is making me feel extremely vulnerable right now, but just like everything in life, things that make us feel very uncomfortable are usually the things that grow us the most. And so if nothing else, I am growing some serious humility right now. What I do want to say is, I'm not a makeup artist. I am a mom of 2 kids who enjoys wearing makeup usually every day, but it is very minimal. I don't do contouring. I don't add a lot of stuff to my makeup routine just because I don't like the way that tons of makeup feels on me, and I kind of like to remain looking similar to the way that God created me to look. And so I just don't try to change a lot about me. I try to accentuate the things that, you know, are kind of more in my favor, if you will, and just pretty much try to stay the same person. It's like my videos. What you see is what you get. I don't have time to be somebody else, and quite frankly, everybody else is taken. And so I'm just going to try to work with all of this and be the best Missy or Melissa, whatever you call me, that I can be. My routine takes me about 10 minutes to do. It's really, really fast. I don't use high-end stuff just because, frankly, I don't see the purpose of it. And so I will go from start to finish and show you exactly what I do. I will say my face is clean. The only thing that I have on it is moisturizer, and what I use, let me grab it really fast. So during the day, I use the Rooted Beauty, and it's the Purifying Daily Moisturizer with white tea and calendula. I'm sure I slaughtered that name, but I actually got this off Grove Collaborative, and I really like it. There's not a lot of junk in it. I've said it before, I have a really sensitive skin, and so a lot of things that I put on my face, they just explode my face, even at 40. And so I'm really, really careful with what I put on my skin. So this is the only thing that I have on right now, and I will show you what I do next. So I put a primer on. I use the Pixie by Petra, and this I get at Target. It's Flawless and Poreless Primer, and again, it's for all skin types, but there's not a lot of junk in this, which again works for me. So this is a tinted primer, and so what I do, if I can get it out here, is I just use very, very little on my finger, and I just kind of dab it around on the areas that tend to get a little bit more oily throughout the day or show my pores. That's just a little challenging in a tiny camera window. So I may have to kind of peek behind the camera just to make sure that things are going on in not a clown fashion. So I just kind of put this basically all over my face, I guess, just to kind of smooth things out, cover my pores wherever they are. And that is that for that. The next thing that I do is I use the Physicians Formula Brightening Complex. And it looks like this. It has a little doe hoof applicator, which I really like. This is in the color LN4, and this also has SPF 20 on it, which I really appreciate. So I just put this all over my skin, just kind of dab it. I don't have a lot on my applicator. I actually kind of wipe it out as it's coming out because I don't want that cakey look. And then I put, I blend that in with this RT200, which this I got from Walmart. Let's see, Expert Face Brush is what it's called. But it's just a foundation applicator. And so I just go through and blend all of that in. I don't go all the way up under here because I'm going to put concealer under there, and I don't want it to get super cakey. And so what I will do is just kind of go right under here and blend that in, and then that way I don't have, sorry, I'm kind of looking on the side. That way I don't have, what I want to say, concealer caked on top of foundation. And so as you can see, I just kind of blend that in. And I don't do over my eyes either. Like, I don't do any parts in here because what I find is that makes that area very, very oily, and then my shadow doesn't stay as well during the day. It just kind of runs off. All right, so there that is. Then the next thing that I do is I put on a primer on my eyelids. And, oops, there went the lid. I use the Smashbox 24-hour photo finish. And this one is just in the, I think it's translucent. It doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's the translucent color. So I just put that on my eyelids and up under my eyebrow. I like this because it's liquid to powder. So it goes on really, really smooth, but then it dries matte and in a kind of powdery feel. So I do that, I let that dry for a couple seconds, and then what I do next is I use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I've tried a lot of concealers. Like I said before, I'm 40, and so I'm starting to get a little bit of creasing under there. And so I really like this. It's super coverage, and it literally covers everything, but without falling into the creases. And it is also a doe foot applicator, and I just wipe off as much as I can before I put it on, and I just kind of go in a triangle fashion, just like that. I'm gonna look behind you. And I mean, I'm barely putting it on, but I let that sit while I do my eyes. And the next thing that I use is the Maybelline New York Lemon Craze and the L'Oreal Paris Enchanted. And I draw colors from both of these just because I couldn't find a palette that had everything that I wanted. I have blue-gray eyes, and so I like to use the more orange, copper, kind of brown colors. I just feel like that makes my eyes pop a whole lot more than, you know, the other colors. So the first thing that I use is the Maybelline New York Sweet Tea. That is this color right here. It's just a nice base color. And what I put that on with is the Morphe E27 brush. And it's just a nice fuzzy brush. See, like I said, I have no idea what these brushes are called. I just use what works for me and call it a day. So I'm gonna kind of look behind you here. I just kind of go in my crease right here. I'm not going all over the lid. I'm just going, let me get closer. I'm just going kind of right here in my brow bone and a little bit inside of the lid. And I kind of go just back and forth That way I can get them fairly similar. This one, you know how you always have like one eye that's just a little bit higher or a little bit differently shaped than the next one? So that's kind of why I go back and forth. That way I can monitor it a little bit quicker and easier. So there is that. That is here, and then I don't put any in this area right here underneath my eyebrow. So I use that, and then the next thing that I use is the Paradise Enchanted, and I use this one right here in the middle. It doesn't have a name, but it's just a really pretty kind of maroon color actually. And I don't like go in here and wipe my brush all over that. I just kind of dab my brush and then I knock off the excess. And now this I am going to go into my crease. And I go all the way from basically right here. So kind of the line where your eyebrow falls to the corner. And then again here where your eyebrow kind of comes down slanted, that's where I go. I don't go all the way into this area right here. So there is that. And then the next thing, I am going back to the Maybelline palette and I'm going to use Sherbet right here. And again, this proves that I am not a makeup artist because I'm gonna use my ring finger. And I just rub it in there and I'm going to go right here in the crease of my eye. Not the crease, but like the front part. Oh, all of you makeup artists are thinking, oh my gosh, this poor woman. But you know what? I don't care. I don't want to be a makeup artist. I don't need to be a makeup artist. I just need to be presentable throughout the day and feel comfortable about how I look. And however I can accomplish that in a quick fashion is good for me. So I have that right there. And then lastly, I'm going to use Old Fashioned again with my ring finger. And I'm just going to kind of dab it right here in the corners. All right, and there's that. Lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of this brush. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to show you what I use for the crease. I use the Echo Tools. I can't tell if that is, there we go. I use the Echo Tools and it's just the blending brush. This I got at Target. And I use this side of it to put in that maroon color. Now I'm gonna switch it and use the other side right here. I'm gonna go back to the Sherbet right here and I'm just gonna go underneath my eyebrow and just kind of define that a little bit. Again, I go really, really light because I do not want it to look cakey. Okay, that's all I do with the eyeshadow. Next, what I do is I go in with my eyeliner and I use the Infallible Longwear Eye Pencil by L'Oreal. I like this one because I can shave it down as need be, and I can get obviously a lot of wear from here to here. Some of the other ones where you kind of like screw them out, I don't feel like you get much wear for your money, and so I like these a whole lot better from a budget perspective. So I'm just going in and lining my eye all the way over. then I'm gonna leave that there until I put in my concealer, and then I'll come back underneath. Next, what I do is my eyebrows. I use the Brow Stylist Definer by L'Oreal, and it is this. It actually comes with this on the end, and then your brush on this end. And I use 2 colors. So on the ends of my eyebrows, I use the dark brunette, and then on this part right here, I use just brunette. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come in here, and about halfway through, kind of right here, I use the darker color, and I just kind of trace the outside of my eyebrow, and then I kind of lightly fill on the inside. And then I'll do this same color over here. Again, just halfway through. I'm not going all the way over. I like it because it's kind of an ombre effect. It defines the eyebrow a lot more, in my opinion, at least for me. And it doesn't seem as harsh. It feels a lot more natural than for me to put like this color on or another color. I don't know. It might be my imagination, but that's what I like to do. And then on the front here, I'm just gonna go in and kind of trace out. I'm not doing the line that I did on the bottom necessarily. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm more doing just like little tiny strokes to appear like hairs than like one big rrrt, because nobody wants that. All right, I'm gonna look behind you kind of. Oh, yay to all of you makeup artists. I don't know how you do all of your videos. I guess you get used to it, but it's kind of hard. Okay. So there's that. And then what I will do is just use the brush and kind of get the eyebrows into a natural look. I like it to look like there's still hairs on there. And so I will kind of brush them up. And then around. And if there's any places that I see where I kind of, didn't get as much product or that look a little bit sparse, I will just go back in and kind of add to that, kind of like right here. There we go. And then I set that with the Brow Stylist Boost and Set. And that is by L'Oreal. Apparently I really like L'Oreal. I've never really paid any attention until now when I've had to say it. And what I'm doing is I'm just scraping this off because I do not want Angry Bird eyes. And then I'm gonna go in and just kind of brush these, I'll do it this way, maybe. And I just kind of brush those up again to make that look very natural. How are we doing? Okay. But it just kind of defines it, it sets them into place, and in my opinion, it makes them just look more like real hairs, I guess. It's hard to see. Okay, there's that. So that is done, and now I'm just going to use my foundation brush again, and I'm just gonna go in and do my concealer under my eye. I'm sure there's a fancy brush for this, but this does the same deal. And I like a good 2-for-1. I kind of do it on the middle of my nose also, just to give a little bit more definition. And that's all for that. So I'll come back in with my eyeliner, and when I do this, I am barely touching this area. I am more kind of doing a tapping motion. And so what I do is I just kind of tap to make a very, very subtle line, and I'm only going to the middle of my eye. I feel like anything past the middle of my eye, I look like tired mommy. And so this works for me. Plus, I don't have like the widest eyes, and if I do too much, it actually makes my eyes smaller than they are. All right, so let's see, we did that. Next, what I'm going to do is my bronzer. And the one that I use is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Again, I get this at Target or Walmart. I think this one actually came from Walmart. Put a little bit right here in the middle of my forehead, just to add some color, because let's face it, right now, we can all use a little. And then I use the end of my brush and just kind of go down the sides of my nose, just for definition. And then lastly, I go right here under my chin. Then next, for blush, I use the Physicians Formula multicolored blush in Blushing Peach. And so I just dab into that, and then I only go right there on my cheekbone. And that's it. And then lastly, just to add some glow, I use the Laura Geller highlighter in Toasted Coconut, and I use my finger again. I know some of you are cringing. I use my ring finger, and then I just kind of do this type of motion. I like this better than a brush. I feel like it's a lot more natural than a brush, and I just kind of go in the motion of my cheekbone right there, and then right down the middle of my nose, right to the little bouncy part. The last thing that I do is mascara. First, I use the Voluminous Lash Paradise Primer by, again, L'Oreal. I love this stuff. I actually have like 5 in my cupboard because I'm afraid they're gonna stop making it. So I put this on first. I'll look beside you. And I put it on both lashes first. That way it can kind of sit just a minute before I put the mascara on. And then over that, I use the mascara. So I've been trying this sample. It's the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I totally hate the name, but whatever. I really like the product and the brush. I like a brush that is like this. I do not like the brushes that are kind of plasticky. I find that that gives me one big unilash, and it just doesn't look good for me anyway. And so I have really been enjoying this. I got a sample of this in my, I believe it was Ulta, may have been Sephora basket, and I have really, really been enjoying it. So I think I'm going to reorder a normal sized one. And this is in the color black. And so I just go over that primer. Just like that. And then on the bottom, I just kind of do this type of motion. I don't put a lot on the bottom. It's more for just kind of definition to show that I have eyelashes, but I don't like a lot down there. So I'm barely touching the eyelashes, the ones that I can see. And then I normally do not wear lipstick, but I really like the Burt's Bees, what is this called? Overnight Intensive Lip Treatment, but I wear it all the time during the day. And so I will put that on every day. I just love how soft it makes my lips feel. But if I do wear lipstick, I like the Too Faced Sunday Fun Day. So for the sake of this video, I'll just put this kind of over my lip gloss or lip care, whatever you want to call it. I like this. This is kind of the perfect nude that I've been able to find. I find like a lot of nudes, they're so different on a lot of skin types, but for me, again, the Too Faced Sunday Fun Day, and this is what the packaging looks like. Okay, friends, this is it. This is what I look like pretty much every single day that I wear makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Like I said, I'm not a beauty artist, but I want to show you an easy way to feel comfortable and confident in what God gave you and to work with that. You don't have to do a lot of highlighting and contouring and whatever. Just find the features that work best for you and accentuate them and call it a day, because you will feel so much more confident in your own skin if you look like your own skin. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, click on that red subscribe button down below. I would love for you to join our community here on YouTube. I post videos on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if you are not following me on Instagram, I post there almost every day. And it's just a way for you to get to know me outside of an edited video such as this. If you want to be notified every time that I post a new video, click on that bell, and that will just buzz you on either your computer or your phone every time that I have something new to watch. That way you don't have to keep coming back and checking. Friends, until next time, I just encourage you to intentionally create a life that you absolutely love living. Not somebody else, but a life that you would be proud of and will not need a vacation from. I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.